Morning, folks. Hope everyone had a good night. Just looking at gold at the moment. Just give me a shout if you're hanging out on YouTube, or if you can hear me okay, all that kind of stuff. If the visuals are all right, and just give me a shout if there's anything awry. So yesterday I maybe didn't make it clear that I was live, and I just abandoned it pretty quickly. So that's my bad, sorry about that. So what do we have? Right, gold made this excess low overnight and high. So that's going to be a bit confusing for people in general, traders. We talked about this low being taken, and potentially, no, we just talked about that low being taken this week. So that wasn't a surprise before any bullish movement. If we go back to the first thing I'd do, or the first thing I should be doing, is just check back at more weekly analysis and try and remember what I was thinking. Okay, remember the general idea was a bit of ranging, and then kaboom, below this weekly low, then up. Okay, so actually we're kind of bullish today. So overnight we did this part. So this path is intended to be approximate. All right, this is just based on experience, based on my reading of the market. It's not meant to be, we're going to go here, 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 then here. It's just a kind of like broad bias. All I'm saying here is that I think we'll range, I think we'll break the low, and then I think we'll go up to the single print. Then we look each day to confirm that, to see if that's actually happening. Now on gold, indeed we did make this sharp down move, 2:30 in the morning UK time, after a sharp up move. And if we look at the profiles, well, footprint first, we can see a finished low, Asia low, and an unfinished high, which will make a good target. And we need to decide if we're going to make another run at this low for liquidity. That would be the idea. I haven't checked Bookmap yet. But the first thing I do usually is check the profile and say, okay, what's the story? Yesterday we had an outside day down. Typically that can mean reversal. Not always, but it tends to imply that. And then we made this sharp excessive low. Just give me a shout if you're i.e. it's got quite a broad tail. So we may retest this, or we may just try and make a run at this middle district. This is a kind of a, I guess you would call that a triple distribution broadly, but it's got a distinct peak in the middle on volume and TPO, so that's your resistance for the day. We need to break that, but that would also make a good target for morning trades. Second thing is I usually check the liquidity after I've done this kind of work, because I don't want any confirmation bias. I don't want to look at the liquidity then make my analysis. I want to make some logic first and then see if the liquidity confirms that. COMEX, GCQ, no, we just talked about that all being taken. NYMEX, CLQ. So that wasn't a surprise. So let's have a look. Before any bullish movement, go back, and I can see plenty of liquidity underfoot all the way down to 27 to 22 to 20. And try and remember what I was thinking. So a lot of people lining up to buy, a bit of ranging, and then kaboom, all the way down to Asia low, then up. Okay, so actually, so my suggestion to you is that we could
So overnight we did this
break this
part.
low.
So this path
Could,
is intended to be approximate.
and we could also
Now,
trade
this is
into
just
it
based on experience.
at a good
Based on my
spot.
reading of the
And what would a
market.
good spot be? Well, we have
It's not meant to
stacked
be,
and
we're gonna
balance
go
here,
here, then here. It's just a kind of like broad
stacked and
bias.
balance
All
here.
I'm saying here is that I think we'll range, I think we'll break the low, and then I think we'll go up to the single print. Then we look each day to confirm that, to see if that's actually happening. Now on gold, indeed we did make
Yeah.
this sharp.
So maybe
Then
our
the
6 a.m. move.
2:30 in the
Well,
morning,
let's say we're
daytime,
bullish
after a
today.
sharp up move. And if we look at the profiles,
Now I don't want to.
footprint first, we can see
I'd rather trade
Asia
into this
low
liquidity.
and an unfinished high.
If we get
which
pulled
make a
back into
target,
these imbalances,
and we need to
that's the
decide
logical
if
move. I don't want
we're
to
making another
assume
run at this low
that
for
at
liquidity.
6 a.m. every
That
day
would be the idea.
we're
We
gonna
haven't checked Bookmap yet.
pro bias move.
First thing I do usually is
But
check
we do
the
have some levels to
profiles.
watch.
Okay, what's the story?
Now, why do I think
So
it'll
we have
break
an
this
outside
low that's
data.
already made an excess and
That
finished?
can
I think it's
mean
just
reversal.
my sort of gold bias. It
Not
likes
always,
to
but it tends to imply
retest swing lows,
that.
like the 18th of June low.
Then we made this
Here,
short excess of
it likes
low.
to create poor lows,
I
and we have a
quite
PDV POC right
broad
below it.
tail.
So I
So
think that'd be a
we
reasonable
may
idea.
test this,
Can we
or
catch a
may just
pullback to trade down
try
into
and make a run
is
at
the
this.
question.
Um,
And also we should know our
middle
market
is kind
profile
of a-
resistance.
I guess you would call that a triple distribution broadly, but it's got a distinct peak in the middle on volume and TPO.
So
that's your
remember,
resistance
we're on a
for the
journey
day.
to gold
We
mastery.
need to
We're
break that,
close.
but that would also make a good
I don't
story
think we're
for,
we're
trade.
masters yet. We're getting there though.
Second thing is I usually check the liquidity after I've done
2340
work,
to 36. So this is,
because I don't want
you know,
any
you just
confirmation
highlight the
bias. I
peak.
don't
It
want
doesn't need to be
liquidity
super
and
precise.
make my
So the 36 to 40.
analysis. I want to make some logic first and then see if the liquidity confirms that.
As you know, I like to aggregate my analysis on TradingView. I know it's a bit confusing. It's just the way I've always done it, and I like it.
So let's have a look. And I can see plenty of liquidity underfoot all the way down to 27 to 22 to 20. So a lot of people
So we'll call
line
that
up to buy
Tuesdays.
all the way down to Asia low.
That's
So
a
my
ledge.
suggestion to you is that we
That's
could
your resistance for the day. You can also
break
note
this
the
low.
POC.
Could
Sorry, Jason, I know you did analysis. I'm going to check it after I've done my own, just so I don't
at a good
copy you.
spot. And what would a good spot be? Well, we have
Notice those are both the POCs are in the exact same level. And it also looks like the volume POC as well, so that's a strong resistance. And if we break that, that's highly bullish. Well, we may not, so let's not assume.
Yeah. So
So my overall bias this morning is kind of down,
we're bullish today.
but I think we will bull afterwards. That's just my, because we have the single prints above.
I'd rather break into this liquidity.
US dollar,
If we get
I think we
pullback
might actually end up
balances,
drifting down to test these lows. I think we're accumulating for GDP.
that at 6 a.m. every day we're gonna pro bias move.
But we may go up
But
a
we
little
do have some
first.
levels to watch.
You know, you can see a
Now,
trend
why do I
line
think
kind of
it'll break
here,
this
so it
low
might.
that's already made an exit?
My kind of bias for Dixie is
I
it'll
think it's just my sort of gold bias.
do
It
this
likes
kind of
to
thing.
Retest
Okay.
swing lows, like the 18th of June low here. It likes to create poor lows, and we have a PDV POC right below it. So I think that'd be a reasonable idea. Can we catch a pullback to trade down into is the question.
So
And also we should know our more
previous week
profile
VPOC here
resistance.
at 2330. If we get up there, that would be great for a sell. And in fact, this whole kind of area, that'd be nice if we could sell.
Journey to gold mastery. We're close. I don't think we're masters yet. We're getting there though.
So what I'll do is I'll just transport. It's good to have these levels ready in advance, so you don't have to do it for the weekend. Obviously, like I wouldn't recommend anyone works on the weekend unless you're crazy. But it does help to do it a day before, because your implicit memory will kind of like order it in your head. That's the theory I have, and it'll make sense of it overnight. It's kind of like learning guitar, piano, whatever instrument. 23, 29 to 30.
So we'll call that Tuesday.
So overall, see this zone, the stacked and balanced zone. This looks great for a sell down into it because it's also last week's close and a previous weekly volume point control.
Sorry, Jason, I know you did an analysis. I'm gonna check
This is
after I've done
why weekly analysis is important, because you already know this. You don't have to rush around.
Notice those are both POC.
So within 10 minutes, we've got a plan already.
Volume POC as well, so that's a strong resistance.
And what's the plan?
And if we break that, that's highly bullish. Or we may not. So
Something like that. I'll give the guys on trading chat a little hint.
This morning it's kind of down. But I think we will bull afterwards. That's just my, because we have the single prints above. US dollar. I think we might actually end up drifting down to test these lows. I think we're accumulating for GDP. But we may go.
You know, a little hint for them.
You can see a trend line.
I think I give too much free
My
stuff
kinda
away,
bias
to be
would
honest.
be they'll
Those guys are pretty lucky
do this.
because they don't pay anything.
Okay.
Might have to edit that video, part of the video out if I share this.
So previous week VPOC here at 23.30.
Alchemy.
That would be great for a sell.
Yeah, well, trading is kind of like alchemy, I guess.
That would be nice. We could sell.
Actually, I was reading a bit about Jung, and he was into alchemy and Gnosticism and stuff. It kind of like sparks his interest in psychology, spiritual kind of side of life.
Ready in advance. So you don't have to.
Carl Jung, that is, not
I wouldn't
any other.
Anyone works in the weekend.
Swiss guy,
Crazy.
Swiss psychologist
But,
guy,
it does help
psychiatrist,
to do
psychologist,
it
whatever.
a day before. Because your implicit memory will kind of like
Pretty interesting guy.
order it in your head. That's the theory I have, and it'll make sense of it overnight. It's kind of like learning.
Was that what you mean by alchemy, or
Instrument.
are you an alchemist,
30.
Jason? Deep. Is that your secret hobby?
So overall, see this zone, the stacked and balanced zone.
Right.
This looks great for a sell.
So what we doing? Let's stay on track here.
Close and a previous weekly volume point control. So this is why weekly analysis is important, because you already know.
So we've got 5
the
minutes.
around. So within 10 minutes, we've got a plan already.
So if you remember, let's say our bias is up today.
Plan.
6 a.m. tends to do pro bias.
Something like that.
Alright, so 6 a.m. if this theory is correct, it should pop up So should we try it with a single contract?
I'll give
I don't know.
guys on trading chat a little hint.
Should we just give it a go?
What I think we will do afterwards.
Let's do a demo, okay? I think that makes sense.
Order filled. Order placed. Order
Demo.
placed.
This is testing my 6 a.m. theory.
Order cancelled.
You know, a little hint for them. I think I give too much free stuff away, to be honest. Those guys are pretty lucky because they don't pay any.
Gotcha. So this is a demo trade, right? And it's testing my theory that at 6 a.m. we do a pro bias move, and later we do a counter bias move. But this is not a trade recommendation. Okay, definitely not. Like I'm not taking it live.
Alchemy. Yeah, well, trading is kind of like alchemy, I guess. That'd be nice. We could sell. Actually, I was reading a bit about Jung, and he was into alchemy and Gnosticism and stuff. Like kind of like sparked his interest in psychology, spiritual kind of side of life. Carl Jung, that is not any other Swiss guy, Swiss psychologist guy, psychiatrist, psychologist, whatever. Pretty interesting guy.
Sorry, I was speaking on mute.
Alchemy or
So this is not an official trade recommendation. I'm just
Are you
testing my theory about 6 a.m.
Is that your secret hobby? Right. So what we doing? Let's stay on track here. So we've got 5 minutes. So if you remember, let's say our bias is up today. 6 a.m. tends to do pro bias. Alright, so 6 a.m. if this theory is correct, it should pop up. So should we try it with a single contract? I don't know.
So remember, do not take this one live.
Should we just give it a go? Not an official trade recommendation. I'm just testing my theory.
The only
6 a.m.
reason I think it'll do this is, well, we have a couple of, like a weak high, I suppose. Strong low. And I think it might test these imbalances first, but maybe not. I don't know. I can see bullish aggressive volume is in control at this current time. So remember, do not take this one live. Trade recommendation for this testing my theory. The only reason I think it'll do this is, well, we have a couple of, like a weak high, I suppose. Strong low. And I think it might test these imbalances first, but maybe not. I don't know. So what do we have? A little bit of liquidity at 32. So what I'll be looking for is confirmation to trade down above VWAP. Now, I will not be surprised if 6 AM either does nothing frig. Fat fingers. So your dollar index is brilliant. The one I use is the futures one. That one, FP markets, because it's closest to the futures price. That's what we have. A little bit of liquidity at 32. It's good if you can telegraph like the timings of things. So this gives you a minute by minute gauge of risk on off sentiment. I will not be surprised if 6 AM either does nothing fat fingers. So don't judge me on this trade, it's just testing a theory basically. So your dollar index is brilliant. At the moment I don't really see any
The one I use is the futures
reason.
That one, FP markets, because it's closest to the futures price.
Like what? Right, what's happening at the moment on the footprint? We're being held down by this imbalance.
The timings of things.
If it breaks it up, we can go into here. This imbalance. So I think of imbalance like pockets, and where you have overlapping high volume nodes. I think of these as walls. So see 3 overlapping high volume nodes. That's a wall. If it breaks, let's say that wall breaks, that would show bear strength. And I think of imbalances like pockets. Similar kind of idea. The pocket may fill and reject. As it fills more, it gets weaker and fuller and becomes more prone to break.
It's just test theory basically.
And if it breaks, it's an indicative of bull strength. In general, you want to be using more stacked imbalances than anything. But my reading of the footprint at the moment is it's like a battle between 2 levels at the moment. So you have this overlapping high volume node. You have this small stacked imbalance, and we're currently just sidewaysing between the two of them.
So I think of imbalance like pocket.
Can't really tell much here. All I can say is that in this moment, bears are in control of market orders, but they could just be,
so see 3 overlapping,
you know, try to get a bit of liquidity to go up.
high volume nodes. That's a wall. If it breaks, let's say that wall breaks.
So I noticed
that would
that
show
this has
bear
become quite,
and I think of
as you zoom into it,
imbalances
there is a
like
decent amount.
pockets, similar kind of
You see
idea.
actually there's more,
It may fill and reject.
or there was.
As it fills more, it gets weaker and fuller and becomes more prone to break. And if it breaks, it's an indicative.
So I'll repeat what my goal theory is. So at 6 a.m.
In
ish,
general, wanna
you
be
get a
more
pro
balanced
bias
and
move.
balanced
So
in
bullish in this case, because I'm bullish on gold today. However,
my reading of the footprint
usually
at the
gold
moment
will do
looks
a
like
counter
battle
bias
between
move
two
in the
levels
European session
at the moment.
for liquidity,
So you have this
and that move tends to be
overlapping high
bigger.
volume node.
Now,
You have this
if we're bullish today, it makes
contract
sense
imbalance, and
that
we're
we would
currently
therefore
sidewaysing between
gather
the
liquidity
two.
from the Asia low.
Can't really tell much here. All I can
Why are
see
we
is
bullish
in this
today?
moment,
Well,
bears are in control of
if you think about the dollar, first of all,
but they could just be
we created a double bottom. I think it's accumulating for GDP tomorrow,
liquidity to go up.
so it's got a case to go down and break that double bottom or weak low, poor low. And also our gold weekly bias, if you read that, it explains why we have a somewhat bullish early week scenario. So this demo trade is meaningless. I'm indifferent to the result.
What my goal theory is, so it's 6 a.m. ish, you get a pro bias move. So bullish in this case, because I'm bullish on
So what I would do is I would say,
however, usually gold will
what's
do
our
a
invalidation
counter-bias
level?
move in the European session.
Maybe this imbalance,
Liquidity.
or
That
if we
move
close
tends to be
below
bigger.
this overlapping high volume node, I'll maybe say,
If we're
okay,
bullish today, it makes sense.
didn't work out, close
that
it.
we would therefore gather liquidity from the Asia
It's
low.
about 1-to-1, and it's demo, okay, demo. I'm not
Why we
saying
bullish
trade
today?
this, okay,
Well,
definitely not. Because actually, I really want to
the
trade
dollar,
down.
First of all, create a double bottom. I think it's accumulating for GDP tomorrow. So it's got a case to go down and break that double bottom or weak low, poor low. And also our gold weekly bias, if you read that, it explains why
Does that make any sense?
Bullish
Or am I talking gobbledygook?
scenario.
So what else? What else is going on?
So this demo trade is meaningless. I'm indifferent to the result. What my goal theory is 6 a.m. ish.
UB. Oh, okay. It did its retrace overnight and pounded down more. We'll have to take another look at that. That sucks. We got a few scalps in that yesterday. I just lost confidence in it. I don't know why. It just might have been a bit of tiredness. I don't know.
Close below this.
So I didn't extract full profit from that. I was a little bit miffed
I'll maybe say
at myself.
didn't work out. Close it.
But trades happen daily. Okay.
1-to-1. Demo. Okay, demo. I'm not saying trade this. Okay, definitely not. Because actually, I really want to trade down.
So we have something.
Trade a double bottom. I think it's accumulating for GDP tomorrow. So it's got a case to go down.
So if you remember, before CPI, US CPI, I was noticing the same thing would happen every day. I develop a bias. Usually my bias is pretty good. I'm bullish today, so at 6 a.m. ish, it would do a pro bias, small move. And then sometime in the European session, it would do a larger liquidity move. So we'll try to do that larger move with a live trade.
Okay. It did its retrace overnight and pounded down more. We'll have to take another look at that. Sucks. We got a few scalps in that yesterday. I just lost confidence in it. I don't know why.
So why am I doing this demo?
Bit tiredness.
It's because I don't think we have an edge in it yet
I didn't extract full profit
until we see it multiple times.
Smith.
I want to get to the stage where we can commit, 5 contracts or something to this edge that we've discovered.
Okay.
All an edge is that you have some kind of method for determining that the odds are more likely to move the market one direction than another at a given level at a given time. It does not mean you will always be right.
CPI, US CPI.
The word edge implies that you just have a edge, something small
Usually my bias is
that is,
I'm bullish today. So
you know, better than 50-50, better than tossing a coin. Right.
Small move. And then sometime in the European session, it would do a larger liquidity move. So we'll try to do that larger move with a live trade.
So let's look at our levels again.
We got a few scalps in that yesterday. I just lost confidence.
29 to 30.
So why am I doing this demo?
31 is a
Don't
possibility
think
as
we have
well.
an edge in it yet.
As is 31.6.
So we see it multiple times.
So let's say it's
I want to get
29
to
to
the stage where we can commit,
31.6.
5 contracts or something to this edge that we've discovered. All an edge is,
You know, that's broadly in
that
our
you
area
have some
anyway,
kind
so
of
it's fine.
method for determining that the odds.
So how about
are more
timing of
likely
this?
to move
Well,
the
I
market
think it
one
might
direction
telegraph with that
than
German
another at a given level,
announcement.
at a given time. It does not mean you will always be right.
So the timing is going to be slightly
Word
different
edge
each day
implies
based on the
that
news
you
flow.
just have a edge, something small
And what's our target for this?
that is
Asia low. So
Yeah.
the trade is going to look something like
better than 50-50, better than tossing a coin, right?
1 to 4. So that means you know, if we get it right more than 25-30% of the time, we have profit. I think we should just get rid of this demo trade. What do you think? We'll just let it run. It's fake money. It doesn't matter.
31 is a possibility as well. Yeah, as is 31.
Well, yeah, you know what? I'll generally, even if I'm doing a demo trade, I'll treat it like real money. Okay, so what I said just there about, oh, it's fake money, forget that. Cause
that's broadly in our area.
even if you're demo trading, you should take it seriously, okay? And try and like pretend it's real money and manage it as if it is real
I
money.
think it might telegraph with that German announcement.
Now, did we have confirmation for that? Not really. It was based on it's based on a bit of an assumption, I'll be honest with you. We did have bullish volume, and we have this idea that we've been noticing, and I think we will. It's quite likely that if we're going lower, we're going to fill some imbalance first.
So that means
So we'll try and make this a 2 contract sell.
we get it right more than 25-30% of the time we have profit. I think we should just get rid of this.
So the main focus is going to be the live trade, obviously. This is just a test of this theory. At the moment, we're doing bugger all. So I think it's a good time to set an alert, and
we'll just let it run.
look at other things.
Money doesn't matter.
NQ starting to get busy. I think this is a sell market today.
I'll generally, if even if I'm doing
albeit if the dollar's going down, maybe it's a buy
normal
market.
trade,
So maybe
I'll
not.
treat it like real money. Okay, so what I said just there. But oh, it's fake money. Forget that.
Cause I haven't finished my NQ analysis, I think
even
whilst
if
we're
you're
waiting for
trading,
gold,
you should take it seriously. Okay.
we can
And
do a
try
bit
and
of work on that.
pretend it's real money and manage it as if it is real money. I think it might telegraph with that German announcement. Now, did we have confirmation for that? Not really. It was based on it was based on a bit of an assumption, I'll be honest with you. We did have bullish volume, and we have this idea that we've been noticing, and I think we will. It's quite likely that if we're going lower, we're going to fill some imbalance first. So that means that so we'll try and make this a 2 contract sell. Get it right more than 25-30% of the time. We have profit. I think we should just get rid of this. So the main focus is going to be the live trade. Obviously, this is just an like a test of this theory. At the moment, we're doing bugger all. So I think it's a good time to settle out and just let it run. Look at other things.
So in my opinion, we won't
NQ.
do much until 7.
Get busy.
Well, 6:30 actually is when. Let's take a look at this now. Actually, the CLS timeline.
Buy market, so maybe not like real money. Okay, so what is it there? Oh, it's fake money. Forget that. Because I haven't finished my NQ analysis, I think. Whilst we're waiting for gold, we can do a bit of work on that. And it's real money and manage it.
Every day, trillions of dollars of payment instructions are submitted to CLS settlement. But how does it work on a global scale, securely, time and time again?
I can't.
Let's take 2 of CLS's members and call them A and B.
I've got my headphones on now.
First, they each send their payment instructions to CLS settlement, which are then matched.
This is your timeline.
A and B aren't the only 2 institutions trading today though, and payment instructions are continuously received and matched 24 hours a day. At midnight before the start of the settlement cycle, we issue an initial pay-in schedule so both members can review their net pay-in totals.
This is UK time.
A and
by the way.
B's funding requirements are multilaterally netted down by approximately 96%, and for some
Multilaterally
members,
netted
further
down,
still, using our
Cool.
additional liquidity tool, in-out swaps. At 6:30 a.m. we issue a revised pay-in schedule that specifies the minimum amount that
See that? Revised pay-in schedule. 10 minutes.
must be paid in by set times. Spreading the pay-ins over a number of hours minimises the draw on liquidity. At 7 a.m. each member begins paying the required currency amount,
7.
either directly
Another big time.
or through a Nostro agent, in which they hold foreign currency at other banks. The system takes each matched pair of payment instructions in settlement queue, settled simultaneously and with fines paid out to both AM, when the settlement of approximately 1 million payment instructions, totaling an average of over $6.5 trillion per day, is complete. The pay-in and the payout of long balances continues until midday, when each
Okay. So during my whole time in finance, I'd never heard of CLS.
So in my
Never.
opinion, we won't do much until 7.
So basically, they'd handle all the large interbank payments on FX. They're there to ensure it's not chaotic. And that happens with a counterparty, because one of the things you're taught in investment is counterparty risk, i.e. the risk that one of your one of the parties in some deal will screw up in some way, or go insolvent, or not fulfill their part of the bargain. So you have a mediator, somebody in between, who is neutral. So that's what CLS is there for. And yeah, I'd never heard of them during my years, which is weird. I only heard of them when I started trading. How live is this stream? Can you tell me? Is it healthy? I don't think this is the down move beginning already. In fact, that was a quick absorption. I kind of want to buy it. Let's just buy it within our down.
Order filled. Okay, I noticed that I just muted the stream that I'm viewing. It looks like it's not live to me. It seems to be locked on the Dixie screen, when in fact I'm streaming. What can you see right now? Can you type to me what you can see on the screen right now? From my point of view, the stream looks quite delayed.
So see this? Seller, that same seller left supply and has just pulled it. That seems like a bit of jiggery pokery. Is that a word you get anywhere else? Jiggery pokery? Like shenanigans? CL is making a pump. That's quite interesting. CL's in blue. And we are at that 6:30 window. And suddenly lots of liquidity appears. Now it seems like the demo trade may not work. I don't know. We'll just let it go anyway. It's an experiment. We'll just stay true to our stop loss. Maybe I'm just... Because remember, I actually want to sell this. Maybe at 6:30 we get 6:30. We get this burst up. That's what I hope. See, when you say voice delay, do you mean there's an echo? Now, what I'd like to do is bring the chat up on OBS rather than YouTube. So what I'm going to do is close YouTube just to improve latency, or hopefully. Okay, that's fine. So watch out for 6:30. It might go straight to the stop loss, or we'll see. Now normally this move would be happening at 6, but 6:30 is also a key time for the dollar. Where is the dollar? Dollar pumping. Okay. Looks like a bit of demand. Delta is firmly in the neg. Do you mind just for today use the Discord chat on live streams as the chat, because I just want to close my stream. I think that might be sucking up bandwidth, and I think it may be delaying things a little bit. So I've just closed it. I think there... Oh, wow. There's your 6:30. That's a slip. And And yet, I don't truly believe that it's on yet. So, this is kind of interesting. So it worked, or did it? Happy days. We'll just call it there.
Order cancelled.
Remember, we actually want to go short. So, little demo trade worked. Interesting, it was at 6:30. That adds to our kind of, you know, experience. Adds to our. And when should we short? I think we should.
Order filled.
Alright, we'll start now, okay?
Order placed. Order placed.
Oh, that's demo. Whoops.
Order cancelled.
Now we're a bit late.
Order filled.
Still.
Order placed. Order cancelled. Order placed.
So what's our target?
Order cancelled. Order cancelled. Order cancelled.
Well, that happened really fast. I wanted to multi-contract this. I don't think it's the end of the world, given we have unfinished auction. And we may get a bit higher. Don't want to add on at this point. Okay, I did want to make this a 2 or 3 contract one, but that caught me a bit unawares how fast that happened. 2329. Now we can always add on more up here if we get it. That was a bummer because I entered a better price on demo, realized my mistake, cancelled it. We'd moved down a few ticks. Bummer. Should we just take that? 250 in the bank. Job done, as Mr. Secker would say. Yeah, let's take it.
Order filled.
And we can always add higher. Okay. Now, could we help that? We don't know yet. We have this German news at 7 and an unfinished auction and another imbalance higher. So my calculation was, let's book something. Let's wait for that potential and then sell again.